Hello again. It's been years since I made a video, and due to all the recent flooding and windstorms that we had here in Hawaii, so this is on our way home after dropping off my daughters. We just drove past in the opposite direction. Not even 15 minutes prior to this, maybe half an hour at the most, and it had already completely flooded. When we first went through, it didn't look like this at all. It was actually pretty smooth. There's no water in the road. There was a little bit of ponding, but not too bad. Okay, here we go. 97.5 KDC. Wow, look at that.
Highway in Hawai'i Beach Park area, possibly due to flooding. Traffic here is slow in both directions. It's clear to the east after Punahou, but
it was not like this when we left.
To the west side, both freeways are clear to
not at all. It was actually pretty open.
to the Kunia Road on-ramp.
To get serious about our power situation. So I just want to show you like what our setup was during this time. Some of these things I had for a while, like these are the first little power inverters I ever got. In fact, this Ryobi one was the first one I ever got. That one. I have a better one now. This one was kind of shitty. But yeah, so these are the things we used during the power outage. These two back here are brand new. I just got those. But this guy, he helped out a lot with the power outage. And then this one too helped out a lot with the power outage. And then I'll show you what else we use. This is just some of the things we use right here. All right, so I just want to go into each little thing that I have and what I use it for, so you guys can see like how we cope with the power outages. The flooding, of course, luckily we're in an area where we flood around us, but not where we are, not our house. Maybe like 100 yards down the road, either way, flooded really bad to the point where the roads were inaccessible and people were literally like swimming in waist-high water to get around. But luckily our little area is slightly elevated from those 2 points, so we were actually really good. Didn't get any flooding. We did have power outage, 36-hour power outage, which is not bad. A 36-hour power outage is not bad at all. But yeah, so I just wanted to go over a few things that we use during a power outage so you guys can see. We don't have a lot of money, so we're kind of going off with things I see that I know will work and what they will work for, and they're pretty affordable too. Unfortunately, these Hart inverters are really hard to find nowadays. But yeah, I'll go over all of that in a little bit. All right, okay, well, let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start this video off by talking about the 150 power inverters. That's these little guys right here. So these are the first power inverters I ever bought, were these. Was this one right here. This is the Ryobi power inverter. This thing is actually, it kind of sucks, but it's actually really good because this also comes with a cable that you can use. You just unplug that from there, and it comes with a little cable that you plug into your car so you can run it as a power inverter through your vehicle. And I think it ups the wattage too when you do that too. So yeah, it's really good. So that's what this is good for. Sorry. But running it on a battery, I mean, it works perfectly fine. The only issue is how janky the connection is to the battery. So when you connect this to a Ryobi battery, this thing's kind of just like sitting there, you know? And if you don't touch it, it's fine. But you know, like say someone knocks it or bumps it, the battery falls over. This thing pops off like really easily. It doesn't really clip on that well. That was one of my biggest problems with this one. And then so I used to have 2 of these, but I gave one of them to use at our store so they can have a little backup situation for the registers. And I just left it there. I don't want it back. But eventually I ended up ordering these because I do have heart tools. I ordered a lot of heart tools because they're cheap, they're affordable, and they're the same as Ryobi. Like they're all the same company that makes the Ryobi, the Milwaukee, and the Heart brand. They're all under the same umbrella. And a lot of the Heart stuff can be interchangeable with the Ryobi minus the batteries. The batteries are a different design, but a lot of like the yard working tools, like you can exchange the Expandit for whatever Heart calls their Expandit. That's the ones with the removable heads. You can switch out for like a blower or for a weed whacker or whatever, you know. But these guys are amazing. These are like lifesavers. Now, unfortunately, I don't think they make these anymore because they're really hard to find. I tried to look for some more because I have so many Heart batteries. And that's another thing, is Heart brand is really cheap and the batteries are really good. Like the batteries that I have for the Heart system, they're still power up full charge, no problem, no drop. I think only one battery had a little bit of degradation, and I had it for about maybe almost 10 years now. But yeah, so these little Heart things are amazing. Like these little things, they just clip the battery on. Do I have a battery here? I do have a battery here. So yeah, they just clip onto the battery real easy, just like this. Okay, and you hold this down, turns on, and there you go. Now with this, what we power with this usually is our track light system. All right, I just want to show real quick what we do when there's a power outage. So this is the track light right here. It's running LEDs, okay? And this is where I usually keep the power station. I have these, my wife has these candles here, and I just stack it up there because it'll plug in better. So when the lights go out, what we'll do is we'll unplug it, okay? And then we'll plug it in here. Sorry for the cut real quick. It was so hard to do it one-handed. So I have it plugged it in here. And you can see the cord running right here. And then I'll just turn this on. Okay, and then we'll flick the switch. And bam, we have light. And it'll run these lights, like I said, for about 4 to 5 hours on one of these batteries. Which is really good. And then we also power our Wi-Fi if we need to. If the Wi-Fi is up, if the internet is still working, we'll use it to power our Wi-Fi and our router. And that works really well. Small lights, lamps, and also when we go to sleep, we'll use this to charge our phones. You know, these batteries, this is a 4 amp hour. This battery lasts a long time. Okay, but then yeah, that's what we use this for. This is basically for lighting and small things. You can even run like a regular living room fan with this. It's not gonna last that long, probably maybe about 40 minutes to an hour. But yeah, it works really well. Other than that, I'm really happy with these. I wish I could find more because I have so many of these Heart batteries that, you know, it'd be great to have like a bunch of these around the house. Maybe put up some more track lights. So these will run off of that. Our house is pretty bright, even with just 2 of these, because we have 2 track lights that we have in our living room. We use them as our main lighting, and when the lights go out, we just unplug them from the wall and plug them into these batteries, and they just work. It's like our power never really, like the neighbors are driving by going like, what the hell, they have power. But yeah, so these are really good. I love these. These little power inverters are really good. And then I ended up ordering these. I got these from my parents, but then I upgraded their system so they don't have this anymore. You can see I had to write parent instructions on it so they understand like how to use these, because my dad had some Milwaukee batteries, but he no longer has the Milwaukee system. He gave it to me, so I just took the batteries back because he doesn't need it. He like switched over to like Ryobi. I was like, you downgraded yourself, but whatever. Ryobi's a good brand. But anyway, so these are for the Milwaukee batteries, the M18s, these ones. So I have a bunch of these XC 5.0 batteries. Yeah, and then these work really well on these things. Like this will power our track lights if we use it, probably for about 5 to 6 hours. Yeah, goes really well though. This one I had for my parents to use for their internet and a lamp. So this one ran the internet, the Wi-Fi and the router. I gave them a little splitter for this. And it ran their Wi-Fi and router. And then this one, they used their LED for their LED lamp. And it ran that lamp for like 8 hours. In fact, they even forgot, even though the power went back on, they forgot that this was running the lamp. And then the lamp just turned off one day, or later on that evening. They're like, what happened to the power? And they realized that it was still connected to this. And that was about hour, maybe like 8 or 9 running on the Milwaukee battery. Like their small little LED lamp. I mean, that thing only used like, I think it was like 10 watts, 13 watts. So that thing ran a long time on that battery. But yeah, anyways, moving on. This is another Milwaukee power inverter that I got. So this one is supposed to be 300 watts, but I don't think it is. I don't know, but this is actually a decent one. I bought this one when they first came out. This one was like maybe $70, but the price dropped significantly since. Yeah, M18 power inverters. So yeah, the batteries just go on the side like this. They just clip in, one on each side. And you can either run one or you can run two, and then you just turn on the switches. So this is for the LED light. Oh, I gotta turn it on. You gotta turn it on first. So you turn the system on. Okay, and once the system is on, you hear the fan go, and then the fan will shut off. And then this is for the light. Pretty bright light. And then this is for the power, the AC switch. So you can turn the AC switch on, and then this, I think I had it hooked up to my Wi-Fi for almost 15 hours it ran, and it still had battery left, but the internet or the power ended up coming back on. But 15 hours I ran 2 of these batteries, and I think they were only down half charge at that point. So this thing will power your Wi-Fi for a long time. You can probably power more powerful things. Like this will also hook up the fan to, and the fan will run for about 4 to 5 hours, which is great because it gets really hot here, especially when it's raining in the daytime. It gets super muggy because of the moisture, and it's just unbearably hot. So this is good enough to run the fan. I tried to run a fridge with it. It did not work with the refrigerator, so you can't run a standard fridge with this. Although I did see people run like those small little 12-volt fridges with this. Someone on YouTube made a video with this, running a small fridge. But yeah, so that was another one that I had, and I'm sure this could run the track lights for a long time too. Like if I had hooked it up to the track lights, I'm sure it could run it for a long time. Yeah, and then I have this guy. This is for the Ryobi 40 volts. This is like a universal plug system. I mean, it was, when I show this to people, they get kind of confused. They're like, well, how do you put it in? It's like, you just put it in like a regular outlet. It's just like a generic, you know, multi-universal outlet system. So it's pretty crazy looking, but yeah, this thing works really well. Like we use this in our bedroom when we go to sleep. We'll put the 2 40-volt batteries in, and we'll just run the fan all night. About 10 hours it can run the fan on 2 batteries. Like you can run 1 battery or you can run 2. But yeah, this thing works the same way as this one. You know, you turn it on, and then you have your power, light, and then the AC out. So then it just turns the unit on and off. This turns this on. And by the way, the USB things work great too. I mean, but we don't really need to go over like USB, because USB works with like the smallest battery. So yeah, you don't really have to, I don't really have to explain that to you guys. Yeah, but then this one is a lifesaver. This one is a lifesaver. These are all lifesaver equipment right here. And then this guy I got recently. This is just an upgraded version of that other crappy Ryobi one. I think this is like the first gen. This is like gen 3 or 4. This one is really awesome because this one, for some reason, they made it to where you can charge it USB-C if you wanted to. It's kind of slower than just plugging the battery into the regular Ryobi charger, but whatever. I mean, you have the option to like plug it in to the wall via USB-C, so you don't even have to take the battery off. And you can also hook up a solar panel to this. In fact, I have a solar panel. But yeah, anyways, I have a solar panel that I used to use for my phone, and you can use it to charge this. So, you know. And then I have those two guys back there, which I have not got to try yet. I bought these during the storm, or actually just before the storm hit. The third storm hit. And I never got to really use them. I did play with them a little bit. This one uses the Ryobi 18 volts. Two of them. You can run one or both. Seems to work okay. This one runs the Milwaukee M18s. You can run one or two. This one also has like some more added information on there, like your watt usage and how much battery percent you have. And it also is supposed to support PD charging. So you're supposed to be able to like charge it through the USB-C, but I haven't seen any information on that. So I don't want to try it and like end up frying it. So, but the downside to this one is when the batteries are in, it gets really, really back heavy, especially the larger Milwaukee batteries. So this thing ends up like flopping over like this all the time. So it's just like angles itself back like that. Yeah, that's the only downside to this. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all the tool battery stuff that I have. Now let's get into the power stations. All right, I'm going to talk briefly about this one. This was the first actual power station I'd ever purchased. This is the Jackery 290 Plus. And I'm just going to be completely honest, this thing sucks. This thing is fucking terrible. Yeah, can't really do much, you know. Good thing is it's still holding up to this day, which is a good thing. I had it for a couple years now. Forgot about it. It sat in like a box in my car forever. And then I finally like realized, it's like, oh, I have this like Jackery power station. Yeah, I mean, this thing fucking sucks. It powers small things, like pretty much the same things as those inverters, these inverters. This thing will be able to power. I'm not even sure what the wattage is on this thing. They say it's 300, but I think it's less than that. It doesn't work with refrigerators, just the way I guess the chemistry works in this system. Can't power any refrigerators, even the 12-volt ones won't power with this. I guess it's just like an older technology. It does have pass-through charging though, which is a good thing. Takes a really long time to charge, but if you charge it through just the regular outlet here, the input outlet, it charges really fast. It'll charge like the whole battery like in, I'd say, less than an hour, from 10%, less than an hour to charge completely. It's good for what it is, you know. It's a small power station that you can carry around with you. I have a case for it. It comes with like the car cables and everything, the plug, all that stuff. But for what I wanted to use it for, it wasn't what I needed. So to me, this is the worst of my power stations. Last time we had a power outage, I just used this to power the internet. That's all I felt it useful for. Oh, and I traveled around with it. Took it back and forth between work and here during the power outage. This powered the Wi-Fi at work for a while, so while we were open. So that was helpful. So I guess it has its uses, but probably like my least used power station, this one, Jackery. I don't know if I'll ever buy another Jackery again. All right, and then next I have this Duran here. I have this is the cable to charge it. This thing is actually pretty cool. So I had used it, or I had bought this for my son so he could use his Xbox on it, and this will run it. So it'll run his Xbox, and he has a small little monitor that he uses, and it'll run that for about 2 hours, 3 hours on this this little Darren. This is a 600 watt power inverter, I believe. Yeah, 600 watts. Yeah, this little thing is great. It has a light on the back, which I know is kind of weird, but it's actually really good to have. Those are actually really useful. Have those lights on these things. But yeah, so you have your DC ports, you know, DC power on and off. You can turn it on, you can turn it off. Informational screen, just the basics, what your wattage is, how much power you're using, and it'll tell you if you overload the system. Yeah, so it's a really good little system. It's only at 92% because we did some testing with this. So I used a little bit of the battery, but other than that, I got this one on eBay and I think it was like $120. Like the guy probably just wanted to get rid of it. And like living in Hawaii, shipping is usually really high. He had free shipping, so it was good. Yeah, I think the guy just didn't want it anymore, but it came all the way from Florida, so I feel kind of bad. It took a long time to get here too. Yeah. Don't really use these ports too much, but you know, you have your typical cigarette lighter and then your barrel connectors right there. Barrel ports. And then 2 AC plugs. Another barrel port right there. Really good little station. It has, the only thing I don't like about it, and that's why this cord is tied up here to the top of it, is because it has like those proprietary type charging inputs. I mean, you can charge it through the front here. So this input right here is this barrel input is also a charger for DC car, and I think I have the plug for this too somewhere in the car. I don't know if these are, they're not labeled, so I don't know if those are. But yeah, this little guy, I'm really happy with this little guy. Running Xbox and a screen. Alright, got another Duran brand here. So then these are the Duran 100 watt power inverters. These are actually really solidly made. These are really solid. So this is what I give one to my daughters and one to my son. I have 2 of them right now for their phones and stuff. They can charge their phones. It does have the USB charging, so you can charge USB-C or you can plug it in. We have the plug. The plug is a lot faster, so we just use the plug. It also has these 2 AC ports right here, which work really well. And then it has its regular input charging there. It also has a light on the back too. Yep. But yeah, I usually give one of these to my son and then one to my daughters to share, and then they'll use that to power up like their phones and their iPads. And these little things are actually really good. Like, they work really well. I also bought these for our store for the registers, so when the power goes out, they plug the register into this and it'll power the register at our store all day. Like, they went a full 8-hour shift and the battery wasn't completely dead. I think the lowest they got down was to 20% battery, but it could run the register all day. So during the power outage, none of the registers had an issue. We were ringing at all the registers in our store. Yeah, so I keep these at the store. I have 4. I also use one of them to power the internet too, through here. Yeah, 1 router, 1 for the Wi-Fi. But yeah, these little guys, these guys are great. I love these things. Probably gonna get some more. Maybe get one for my parents too. All right, on to the next. Okay, so here we have the Delta 2. It's just the basic Delta 2. It's not the Max or the Pro. But this, we got 2 of these. They were about $4.99 at our local hardware, or our local Home Depot. But yeah, this thing is a lifesaver. So it supports solar. This is the regular charging port. And then these are all the regular ports on the back. And then any USB-C device you can throw at it, it'll charge it, no problem. Yeah. So we'll turn it on. But yeah, these things are great, amazing little systems, these things. Doesn't have that much power, like for wattage, but it's like 1800, I believe, is the wattage for this, but it was enough to power our 80-inch TV, and also run the Wi-Fi. And the 80-inch TV was about 3.5 hours it could power it for, which is pretty damn good. Other than that, what we use these for is to power the AC in our room, which unfortunately, it'll only power for about 45 minutes to an hour. Fluctuates a little bit because it depends whether the compressor's on or not. And we usually keep it on like a eco, so once the room is cool, the compressor shuts off. But the fan still keeps going to circulate the air. So, but yeah, so this will power our AC in our room, and it's a pretty large AC. Yeah, it's a pretty large AC. So it works for that. We have 2 of these, like I said. And when we leave, we'll use this to power the refrigerators. Other than that, we have something else we use to power the refrigerators, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, so happy with these purchases. Like this, the 2 of these. I'm thinking about getting a 3rd one, or even the battery extension. The biggest problem with living in Hawaii is trying to find these things. Like, you can find them. Like, the EcoFlow is probably the most prominent here because you can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's. But brands like Blue Eddy, you're not going to find that here. You can get the Anchor from Costco's when they do have it in, but they usually sell it pretty fast. And the last time I saw it at Costco's, it was their smaller unit. I think it was like an 800 or maybe even like a 600 watt unit that they had. And it was going for about like $300 or $400. And I was like, no way. This is 1800 watts and this was $499. And I think it's $440 now. I think the price dropped because I went and looked. But yeah, these little guys, amazing. Yeah. And they're not that heavy. I mean, they're pretty bulky, but I mean, they're not that heavy. Definitely easy to carry around and take with you if you need to. Yeah, we have 2 of them. Want to get the batteries, but we can't, of course. Living in Hawaii, they don't really ship those here. Home Depot does not have the batteries, but they do have a wide selection of different sizes of the EcoFlow brand. They have the larger units. They have the smaller units, which I bought one. I bought the 800 watt River 2 Pro from my parents, and they love that thing because they too were also in that extended power outage that we had. And they were so happy just to have that. Unfortunately though, I don't know, I gotta go play with the settings there because it couldn't run the refrigerator. And when I was talking to the guy at Home Depot, he said it does run a refrigerator. But yeah, I think I gotta play with the settings a little bit to get it to run the refrigerator, because it should, at 800 watts, should be enough to power the refrigerator. It's nothing fancy. It's not a fancy refrigerator at all. But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's it for our power stations. This is the last one, this big boy right here. Love this guy. Yeah. You can also connect this to an app and like play with the settings and stuff like that. Turn on powerlifting mode. I think I have powerlifting mode off because we're never going to use it for anything like that. Some of the things we did power with this during the outage is we made rice with it. We live in Hawaii, of course, we got to have our rice. Yeah, so we used it for our rice pot. We use it for our AC, like I said. We use it to power the fridge when we leave. And the only reason why this didn't run out of battery is because of the next thing that I'm going to talk about. And it was my wife's truck. So I'm going to show a video of the truck right now. This is probably the most impressive thing that we have. This is my wife's truck, F-150 Lariat. Hybrid, and it has this built-in little generator here. Yeah, it works really well. I think we ran it about pretty much the entire time the lights were out, and we probably only used like less than a quarter tank of gas. Yeah, it's about I believe it's 2400 running watts. I think the peak is a little higher, probably about 4,000, but the whole time we used it, we never even broke the 1300. I think 1300 was the highest we used. Maybe 1600 was the highest we used. Yeah, running watts. But yeah, very impressive. Very satisfied with this truck. Okay, so it's a Ford F-150 Lariat hybrid. So she has the built-in generator in the back of her truck, and that thing is amazing. That's probably like the best thing during this kind of extended power outages to have, because she barely used any gas, and we used it pretty much the entire time we were awake. her truck was running the TV and the 2 fridges for that whole time, and barely used any gas. I think we got close towards the end of hitting a 1/4 tank of gas usage, but I don't think we even broke that. It was so amazing. 240 watts or 2400 running watts I think her truck has, and it's like 37 peak, I believe. And like even with the TV running and the 2 fridges, like we didn't even break 2000. It was just hovering probably at the most about 1600. Also, when these were out of battery, like let's say the one that we used for our AC pretty much died the first night. Plugged this into the truck and I lowered the charging rate on these to 600, I think it was, and it had this charged in 2 hours, like running it off the truck. And that was great. That was perfect. Yeah. So having that truck is probably the best thing for the power outage that we got as a generator. And I would recommend that you guys look for, doesn't necessarily have to be the Ford F-150, although I'm very happy with that truck. You can look for another car that has built-in power inverters. I see them all the time. Like it says when you're looking online at new vehicles, if they have a power inverter built in or not, or a power generator built in or not, it'll tell you. It's mainly like the American cars like Chevy and Ford that have those, but just look. I know I know Honda used to put a vacuum in the back of their car, like a built-in vacuum, so I'm sure like they could do also a power generator inverter in the back of their car as well. So yeah, check it out. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you for hearing me out. Yeah, just with the way like trying to find power stations in Hawaii is difficult, but EcoFlow is one brand that you can find at the Home Depots and at Lowe's. There are some other brands that you can buy, but they're really expensive. Blue Eddy won't ship to Hawaii, so that's one of my biggest gripes with them. I hear a lot of good things about them, but I gotta go with EcoFlow because that's what we got. And EcoFlow will ship me stuff. I mean, I don't know about these bigger power stations, but they'll ship me like stuff that I need. Like Blue Eddy wouldn't ship anything to me. Like they wouldn't even ship like the cords for a Blue Eddy to me because I tried to buy those because it was like the same cord that my other power station used. But yeah, so Blue Eddy is out. Opus is another one. They're actually pretty good. They're set. I ordered an Opus from them and they're actually shipping it, so that's good. I did find a used Blue Eddy on eBay and someone willing to ship that, so I'll check that out and then I'll update you guys when I get all that in. Just wanted to step in real quick and show you guys that I did end up getting a Blue Eddy. I did not order this from Blue Eddy. I got this from a seller in California who shipped it to me. And this is the EB3A. And this one is going to replace the Duran 600 watt. I'm going to use this one instead, and I did make sure it was working. I hear a lot of bad things about this one, that it doesn't charge or anything, but this one charges perfectly fine. It did not come with a cable, but I ended up getting a cable through Amazon and tested it out, and it works great. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so I did get a Blue Eddy. We'll see how this one runs. This is going to replace the Duran 600. This is going to go in my son's room during a power outage and see how long he could power his Xbox with this. Alrighty. I also got this power station in. This is the Opus 1200 watt power station. It's a cool little power station. It came brand new, still packaged nicely in the box, and I only picked this up for $275 on eBay, surprisingly, and that's what shipping included. I didn't have much time with this. I had to label it with parent labels and drop it off at my mom's house because we were getting ready for another big storm. And this one is guaranteed to run their refrigerator. I didn't get to test it, but it shows that it will be able to power it. Anyways, that's it for my video. Sorry it was a long one. Have a wonderful day. Aloha.